So anyhow, sorry about that, guys. I'll recap it, not to take Jim's time. But again, just excited about the getting started again with the lunch and learns. I know that we took a small break on him. We are gonna keep the same cadence, meeting twice a month, this same date and time, Wednesdays. I think it's the second and fourth Wednesday of every month. At this point, same kind of 12 to 12:15 will be the rhythm. That's when we get our lunch. 12:15, our presenter will come. The only thing that might change is the way we're presenting or who's presenting, right? A little bit more influx, all the way from vendors like Jim, who's going to give us some educational pieces to, let's say we'll have Telon teach on Resource Center, and then we'll have some practical kind of go get them sales tactics. Anyhow, so then you guys see Jim's screen. I was going to give an intro on what he's going to be talking about, but I'm just going to let him go ahead and just rock and roll since you already have his bullet points.
Thanks, George. So quite a few people know me, Diane, Rhonda, and everyone. Thank you, George, for having us. And if I may introduce, let's put you on here as well. But this is Derek, my counterpart from Madeira on down. So I thought I'd start out with something fun, and here we go. So a little bit about Los Banos, right? So most people say the baths, but it's actually not. It was because they had natural pools that was discovered a while ago, about 1808. And the eventuality was that they removed the utility from Los Banos because we couldn't pronounce it. It is downtown Cattle King. Henry Miller Plaza was named after the Cattle King. The missing tilde I mentioned because it was hard to pronounce. Bird Watchers Paradise. You have a refuge here, wildlife sanctuary. Scientists actually come out here and do research in your background, in your backyard. You are the sweet corn capital of the world, essentially, the region.
It's not showing on here.
Huh?
On the Zoom. Like your presentation's not showing up. It just has like a green screen, it doesn't have the.
So then I do this.
You can see you actually, but yeah.
Yeah, we can see it, but the slides.
How about that? You can see your slide in?
No.
You need to screen share it. In Zoom.
Show at the top, yeah, right.
Is it because
There you go.
the main speaker was pinned?
Now share.
Yeah, now you.
Now press the bottom. Says share.
Yep.
Now you gotta drag from there.
Perfect. And then on presentation mode.
Top right. Right there. Right. Right there.
That's it.
Can you still see that?
No, still showing the others.
I'm gonna.
You know how to do it?
Like stay with complexity.
Not sure.
See, it's not sharing his slides.
Let's unpin this guy.
Good try.
Excuse me.
That's good. I mean, you want to just let him speak into the speaker and just keep on going? No, you don't have to. Or don't even go on presentation
Oh,
mode.
it's this one then. This one?
Yeah.
Then share. How about now? Nope. What? That's really
Yeah,
strange.
you can see it up here. I don't know
Because-
what
Is
you're
it
doing.
even sure?
Yeah.
And
Listen.
Pause that. Switch to sharing content.
There we go. Yeah, it's right now. Mhm.
Oh, it's pinned. Sorry, everybody. So we were going over some of the Los Banos items. And then, of course, Los Banos have deep cultural roots in Mexico, Portuguese, and Spanish. European source there. So this one I touched upon because it's very important. The position and role of the realtors has been in flux and just not evaluated well enough nor understood. So this is from your former government affairs director, Field Samiesca, about 3 years ago. So California is in the top 5 GDPs of nations worldwide. Nation worldwide, just California. 16.9% of that is real estate. That's what you're all in. 17% of California's GDP is real estate. And every time a house is sold, right, you're creating between $250,000 and $275,000 worth of revenue, supporting over 500 plus jobs like ours. And at the time of COVID, just coming out, and they found this essential. The latter part of that March, you all produced nearly $1 billion to support California through that period. That's how important real estate is for the state of California. It may fluctuate in terms of the market, but that's what you do is support. That's how valuable you are. If realtors were not there, if homes were not sold, what is the health and well-being of the community? Zero, doesn't grow. There's no revenue to support the community because of that. For sure. So a little bit about property ID and a little history.
Welcome to Property ID, where you can disclose with confidence. Property ID is the leading NHC report provider, or the founder. We've been in business since 1976. And in all that time, been serving the public and serving real estate agents, helping them protect their clients and their customers and provide the very best natural hazards disclosure reports in the industry. We have our own in-house department that creates these amazing reports. We also cover more than 14 different that no one else in the industry even addresses in their reports. The reports are also backed by a $20 million insurance policy that lists you as a named insured on the policy. We can even provide you with certificates of insurance. If you require, just call our staff. We're more than happy to provide those for the reports that you purchase. This provides you an extra level of protection and security when you purchase reports. Visit us online today to see how we can help you boost your real estate sales and improve your branding. Property ID.
So branding and sales are the two most important things, especially now with social media. Very true. So it is very important to have that kind of a presence and importance out there. So we have been around for 50 plus years. We are essentially the founder of the NHD industry. $20 billion E&O, which covers the seller, the seller's agent, the buyer, buyer's agent, the escrow officer, and your TC. Everyone who is a part of that transaction has their hands on. Very easy to order, SkySlope, zip form, or just call us or online. Various ways to do the ordering. So now I'm going to get into the meat and potatoes of this presentation. I'm going to talk about how listings have changed throughout the years. If you recall the top left, they called that the paperback volume, which you had to wait a couple of weeks for it to come out, and you say, hey, is this property still listed and is it still on sale? Then you have the little flyers in the middle, copies you have to make just so you can go out and do sales presentations. Then you have the web, right, bottom left. And of course, MLS, which had information on the property, but it never really told you its potential. What if you had a report that allowed you to know what that potential is? And these are called land entitlements. Let's take a look. So traditionally, since 1990, that's how marketing was done for properties in India. We have sales. It's moved. But now because of the World Wide Web, they are more entitled, they're more informed about possible potentials. And our remark as realtors, brokers is check with the county if you can do that. Now we have advanced. Introducing to you the Good News Report powered by NakedHouse.ai. This is the property in San Bernardino County. On the left of your screen is the original picture of the home. its current structure. So the right is the potential. It is an AI-generated possibility of that potential based on the land entitlements, growth, expansion, and opportunity.
Jobs. The fourth building.
So here's an example. This is a real one. Here's a renowned in Stockton. He said, "Hey, John, got a vacant land. What it cannot do." So let me have the report. So we got the reports down in King County. Max floor area is 36,770.
Nobody could hear you online. They're saying you're sounding very mumble, so maybe you want to talk to them and then,
Oh yeah.
because they.
Oh
Yeah,
because of that.
yeah, we can hear you because they said they can't hear you, understand what you're saying.
Sorry about that. My voice was out of the preview of the computer. But anyway, this is a real land in Stockton. One of the agents was from Remax, and on the left it was vacant land. And he wanted to. He's mostly commercial, so he said, "Can you give me a potential?" And if you'll notice on the right, it showed the possible potential, multi-floor, and a lot of the various allowable uses there. It denotes, let's see, family daycare, RCFE, parks and recreation. So that's just a particular land here. Here's another example. Same agent. If you are familiar with Stockton, on the left is its original theater.
It's obviously does it. Or
She has a question, so yeah, so.
does it, yeah, I would even.
Thinking cows like gives you this report, I want you to it. It's like that.
say. Land and, you know.
We'll actually get on that, but I'll address that. But this one is a theater in Main Street in Stockton on the left, and the agent says, "Hey, I've got investors. Can you show a multi-use?" And so that's what's on the right.
Just over there, stop. It's facing the same direction as everyone.
Okay.
That's neat, so anyone of the.
Yeah. Sit down.
So anyone goes on. Goes on any property, you know, you have to ask it, the allowable uses. The report you get.
So Christine Kinsley, for those of you, Christine Kinsley is asking a question. Jim, can you put the question? Or Chris, now we're off there. Hey, Christine, sorry guys. Christine's asking a question, and it's that way you guys can hear. The question is that does the report automatically give you all the allowable uses? And Jim was about to answer that.
Whatever has been reported at the county and local level is what is noted in the report.
That's.
And because, yes, there's some disparity in as far as what is being reported because of changes in planning and development, the report is as accurate at the time that we pull the report.
Nice, it's really nice.
That's very.
So you're pretty has nothing, like I said, they have all the one that's actually and they're allowable,
Yeah.
yeah.
It'll change the way that you're going to market your property.
Exactly.
So, in essence, you have all of these allowable uses, entitlements from potential, multi-unit ADUs, because it'll allow for the setbacks as well.
Yeah, it's nice.
And then you'll know every section of the good news report was built to expose the elements that sophisticated buyers analyzed before making a purchase and decision. So with today's market and with today's consumer, whether they're seller or buyers, they want to know, because they can't Google it, they can't search for it. Now you have a report that allows them to do that. So here are some of the basic key points that is navigatable. These are all linked internally in the document. You don't have to scroll. Click on a link and it'll tell you. So the first item is dimensions of setbacks. It'll tell you the dimensions of setbacks. And on the bottom right, even the zoning. Cool.
It'll also show that on like a topographical view of it as well. It's a 3D model. Show you the buildable height limits as well too. It'll have that all displayed in the
Oh yeah.
For ADUs, bigger yards, yeah, bigger yards, you too, right?
Yeah. So as my counterpart Derek had mentioned, it'll show you with a figure on how the potential will be displayed, and that potential will be in the report. I'll show you in a minute, but some of the items that are allowable uses, like for this particular example, according to the CMC code, you got administrative, you got animal health care, you even have community recreation, conditional uses, beverages, you can sell alcoholic, conditional because you need a permit. As a disqualifier or a qualifier or advisory, although it says that these are allowed, you still need to get the proper permit and have it approved. And here's a wonderful potential. If there's room for growth in terms of multi-floor or multi-unit, they'll display it here. This one is focusing on ADUs. Now, an interesting point was that some of the homes that were damaged down south, some of them are investing in ADUs built in the backyard because FEMA is responding so slowly so that they can live in the ADU in the back while they're waiting. That's the point. Additionally, San Jose, as long as the parcel can be parsed, they're allowing ADUs to be parsed as a condominium. So it can be sold separately. Additional revenue there. That what came out about 3 or 4 months ago. This is development potential. The most important figure here is depth of usage of the right. You are able to use that property 90% in terms of growth and potential. And here are the maximums. You've got, for that example in San Bernardino, you were able to go 3 stories, 45 feet, 9,500 square feet, right? Buildable area, 4,900. Floor ratio, they go, what is that? You're able to increase the floor ratio almost double from its original. It goes, what's 1 to 1? And in terms of its value, you're like, I didn't know that. Most individuals who are looking at properties only look at the improvement, never really in understanding what the potential is. Considerations, these are things that are to be an advisory. Perhaps the township says, oh, you can do this, but you can only limit it to a junior ADU or a max ADU of 1,200 square feet there. But it all depends on the locality. Okay, even though it states that, make sure you are permitted to do so. And here's what Derek was mentioning. This is the actual property outline for the San Bernardino property that we noted earlier. And then it'll give you the site plan analysis for its full potential with the setbacks, back and sides. It will additionally give you a satellite view of the original and then the full potential. Here we go. Is the 3D development, it can give you a max height of 3 floors. Just in this one report. And then finally, I want to touch upon this. You've got listings out there that have not been moved. Roselia called me yesterday saying, Jim, I've had this property for almost 2 or 3 months, no movement. I want the report. So she ordered it yesterday. And we went over how to present it to sellers and buyers. So it's going to change the market in terms of how you present, not just doing a basic CMA or promote, I guess you could say a seller's packet. Now you're going to have this inclusive of all of its potential.
So Jim, question. I have a question for Jim. Can you hear me? Hopefully you guys can hear me. This is George. There it is. I have a question for Jim. Jim, so then you're saying we could order this pre-listing and take it to our presentation? And is there a cost to us? Let's say we don't get the listing, because remember everything's, I think it's 7 out of 10 we'll get, I think somewhere about 70%. But how does that work, or how does that flesh out?
Well, because we have a partnership with our major partners, such as Berkshire. So it's a fee for service. The report itself, if you access it just solely one-on-one or one-by-one, it's $139. Okay, anyone can purchase it online, be the seller, buyer, or anyone who says, "Hey, I didn't know that report was there." We also have a combination, which is paying through escrow. Because there's a surcharge of $15, it's $154. But if you couple it with your max NHD, we discount that $54, provide the escrow information, and you've got 6 months of free updates. If the listing drops out, we can cancel the NHD, but obviously the report, because of its value, it'll have to be paid at that point. Any questions so far? Very good. So here is our manager to give you a highlight, and this is actually on the website.
Naked House Introduction. Welcome to Naked House, the good news report. At Naked House, we believe every parcel holds hidden value. Our purpose is to uncover it, structure it, and present it in a way that drives smarter decisions and stronger outcomes. Naked House, a good news report designed to reveal the property rights and allowed uses by analyzing the development potential already owned by the land. This report transforms a standard listing into a powerful, data-driven presentation of what a property can become legally, creatively, and financially. Naked House doesn't just show what exists, it shows what's possible.
That's
Naked House, the good news report, product of Property ID. It's a land-based value analysis that reveals the allowed square footage to build, the number of units permitted, ADU allowances, and more. It also highlights key regulations like height limits, property line distance, and zoning rights. Top agents sell the property, not just the house. This report gives agents a powerful advantage by helping their listings stand out and showcase the full hidden value of the property. Click the link below to see a sample report.
That's just it. That's on the website, nakedhouse.ai. You can use that as your promotional, should they want to consider its purchase.
Can you co-brand that video or that something like this? It could be co-branded to us.
We can talk about that in terms of the report, because we can actually co-brand the report with your logos.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like, hey, guess what? We're all, I guess more for on the grounds. It's like, hey, we send this to our seller and say, hey, check this out. I got this great thing. And then they're like, well, Century 21 is going to charge us a little bit less. So we're going to go with them, but we're going to use report. See what I'm saying? So I'm wondering if there's a way to co-brand this kind of collateral. So when our agents are sending out, it actually goes out as one, almost like we're partners in a sense.
I completely understand. I'll elevate that to our president. See what I think.
So excited.
Yeah.
She presented at in Walnut Creek. She presented this spot.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was like,
but a month and a half ago.
Yeah, well, that's good. Everyone, yeah, it's make it spectacular. It's awesome.
So
It'd be easy now. Yeah,
Well, that's what I'm saying, for any land, anything like even commercial building downtown.
or that, yeah, that little house that I'll talk about it later on.
Yeah.
So Property ID is always promoting various kinds of tools. Previous tool to the Good News Report is rescore.ai. Issues with insurance has been very, very bad.
Yeah,
And so rescore.ai was created and produced as a leverage against not being renewed or rate increases. It looks at the significant portions of fire, flood, seismic, earthquake, and gives you a rating between 0 to 1,000 with that data, real-time data, mind you, and say, hey, insurance provider, why are you not renewing me? Our report says I'm low risk.
mhm.
So it's a great tool. It's even been used by our founder owner. So it's a separate report as well. And then the next item, I'm going to bypass that.
Is this actually extra then? So that Naked House AI and restore those extra?
These are all not legally required, but can be fee for service.
So,
There's a
They
fee
are
for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a completely different report. Yeah, the property and the.
okay, so it's property ID, but then yeah, if you want these
Well,
other things, you have to order those.
Yeah, there's actually understand and there's naked.
Okay, okay, and restore too, all right.
Yeah.
So in support of the rescore.ai, I'm going to have Derek go through over this. The easy hashtag branded with Berkshire.
Yeah, so this is something that could be co-branded on there, that could be used as a customer-facing tool. And it's a web-based application, honestly. They don't have to download anything. They just go to the URL that you provide them, which we'll send out to you guys after this. And essentially what this is is a way to check if they're going to be in a high severity fire zone or a flood zone before you even order the report. So use case would be, let's say you have a buyer that they send you, 13 different listings. Like, I want to know which ones are going to be in the high severity fire zone. Like, look, let me send you this link on it. You let me know which ones are in there, or we can look at it together, digitally walk through it as opposed to driving around town and finding out the hard way, right?
And it's co-branded, so they know who to contact.
That's free though.
Yes.
Check is free. That's
Yep.
free.
Easy Hashtag is 100% free. And then all you would do is you type in the address that you want to go through. And if there's multiple APNs, it'll have you selected afterwards.
And
Once
this is
again,
actually under our Berkshire thing or something like that.
It is co-branded with Berkshire.
I know, but where's it located at?
How do you get it?
Oh, on the link.
You'll send that. Well, you'll send it to me. And
I'll send it to you.
right there.
Yeah, if you could send me all the links to everything that way. I can-
Yes, we'll send you guys a
I
summary
send a
email on
recap.
that.
Yeah, I'll send a recap to everybody. I think.
Yeah, that'd be great.
It's become a huge tool. Even the lenders, I didn't know how they got it, but they got the link, and they've been using it to help their agents.
I know, but that's good because like you said, that's real important right now.
Mhm.
Um,
This way, like if they're close to their, UTI, right? And you don't want anything to unwind the deal, this is the perfect way to kind of get in front of it.
Yeah,
So once you hit your results on there, it'll have you just type in your information. This way you can submit through it. You'll see what's available. You can print this out. That way you can, let them know like tangibly this is what's available for you guys. It's not going to mess you up as far as your allocation of funds. And then you can even just order the NHD straight from there as well too.
So they can actually look it up. You can just save it as a PDF, send it out. Okay, tell me which one you want to buy.
that's nice.
Especially guys, when looking at the foothills, yeah, no, that area.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
So as an advisory, if you're using this particular tool, okay, and you're a seller or buyer's agent, regardless of which position that you have, once you have this report, you say, okay, well, you're going to need insurance. You're going to go to your favorite insurance provider and say, hey, I've got a listing contract with this property. Can you give me a hard quote? More often than not, that quote is free. You include that with your packet, you're set to go because now they know how much it's going to cost, the additional cost of the insurance, and even that good news report. There's no question.
So I'm going to hand that back to you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. The next item is a report called Fortress Fire. This came out as a collaborative between CAR and Fortress Fire. Most think that it is legally required. It is not legally required. Just know that it is in the drop-down menu on the zip form as well as SkySlope, I believe. It is not legally required, but as an advisory, once you do obtain it, right, it's material knowledge. So now you have to disclose it and upload it. What can and the possibility that may happen is you have a buyer saying, "Hey, I saw the report, and it says I need to remove all these items so that it can be compliant or hardened against fire." Well, now you have a negotiation point. They may go to the contractor and say, "Hey, how much would this cost to do?" They'll say 34, 40,000. Now they're going to negotiate with you and say, "Listen, this report, the Fortress Fire report says I got to do this, and it's going to cost me this. Can you give me a discount on the pricing?" So your consideration and your thought about what you want to do. The report itself is very clean, very detailed, for it identifies every single fire consumable item in the property itself. Again, it's not legally required, and it is not currently being used as leverage to reduce and or renew insurance. And that's the advertisement. So as a background of what we do, our flagship product is your Max NHD, which includes the environmental. It has all of the links of our sources of that data that we produce in the report. It has all the links to the sources that you have needs, such as FEMA or scheduling a fire inspection. And You don't have to scroll. Every single area is navigated through the various links here. I would suggest that the quick view, which is on the right, top right, that would be your best source to review for your property because it'll tell you in summary, you're in or you're not in, flood, fire, earthquake, seismic, um, endangered species and so forth, land use and so forth. So it is a great tool for agents. Within that report, usually on page 2 or 3, you have other resources. If you have remote individuals who are wanting to look at property, we have Google Earth, which can do a virtual flyover. Google Streets, they can take a look at the neighborhood. The picture may be old, but at least they get an idea. And if they have questions, as an advisory, never answer NHD questions because you're not the source. You can be liable. Always defer them back to the source provider, which is property ID. And if you have need of elevated resource, such as an attorney, we have Melana, who is there for you as an added service. If you have need of the let's say a tax assessment or a tax estimator, we do have that in the report as well on the last page, second to the last page, I believe. It's linked to our website. As long as you know your prospective date of close and sales price, you can get a tax estimate from there. And of course, we have additional languages other than English. We have Spanish. We have traditional Chinese, I believe it was. Simplified Chinese. How do you access them? Well, it's no added charge. It's free. You get the report in English. Just identify which language that you want. Submit the request there, and you could add up to 50 emails to distribute that new language. We also have uh, the DocuSign enabled signature pages, e-signature file.
Have you presented this to our TCs? Our TCs order the reports to do everything for us.
Yeah.
Have you ever recently? I haven't done it.
No, I haven't a long time.
So our e-signature file is already DocuSign compatible. You don't have to drag and drop signature file, signature field or the initial. It's already set up. You open it, you assign a signer, off it goes.
Yeah.
So you're seeing about 10 to 12 minutes.
We need to just give the.
I didn't tell Amy. At least, are you gonna? Can I get these 3 or 4 slides for my TCs?
You're going to have the presentation.
Oh, okay, I'll break it up. And then I'll break it up.
Okay, look for what?
Yeah, because they can all our orders get ordered to Amy or whoever our transaction coordinator. We don't even.
For sure. One thing, I guess this might be more of a thing for her, but for you guys as well, is with the different languages, all the signature portions of it are going to be in English, but on the report itself, on each page, you can toggle between the languages on it to make it easy to follow through on it. But because the law was written in English, they're going to have to sign on the English portion of it. That, you know.
You can access the signature pages in the same file. It's at the bottom, request right here, signature pages, and they'll send the file for you.
Oh, nice.
And here we go. This is how you do it. You identify the recipients and 47 additional in this case. And then just a few other items. Did you know that if you only need the environmental report, we have that available? And then we also have the lease or renter NHD. Did you know that residential units that are leased or rented since 2018, July of, that a rental lease NHD must be provided at the time of contract? Most property management have no idea, much less the landlord, and of course, much less renters. Imagine if they had to find out later. What does this do? It denotes whether or not the property is in or not in the flood zone. Why? Because of what happened in Silicon Valley when a lot of people were flooded out. Had they known that the property was in the flood zone, they would not have rented. Thus, this law came into place. This is Assembly Bill 646.
There's a rental report, you said?
Yep, lease or renter NHD. The pricing is scalable. The more you have, the cost will be a lot less. It comes in legally 6 required languages. It is legally required to have available in 6 languages. It'll denote that on the website. And of course, my main goal is for education. Education will elevate you and provide greater value to your team and to your clients. So let us know. And George and I talked about this. Schedule us as needed. Derek or I, we're good to go. These are the updates, and I believe we're out of time. But should anyone have any questions, I want to highlight this particular portion especially. February of 2025, because of the fires back then, Governor Newsom set out an executive order to have whole state remapped by CAL FIRE for fire. They concluded in March. Okay, there were 4 phases. The reason why he essentially did it was to point the finger on whose responsibility it was to provide water at the hydrants. But mind you, when Property ID received their updates, we updated our database within 2 to 4 weeks. So just know that even with this update by CAL FIRE, with the fire maps, your report is up to date for all the 58 counties of California.
So I don't know what you're saying, when it's supposed to be rolled out, or they're all rolled out, right?
It was already done.
Yeah, because that was, okay.
Yeah.
Phase 1, 2, 3, okay,
Phase 4 was done in March, latter part of March.
yeah.
Each community or county had 120 days to comply with said requirements by CAL FIRE.
Okay.
Do you know if they sent you out a notice whether or not they complied? No, you don't. That's why it's very important to pay attention to your NHD because it is the most up to date. So thank you, everyone. If you have any questions, let me know or email Derek or I or George. George will have a copy of this presentation to distribute.
So, hey, so does anybody have any questions? There was a lot of information. Before we go, any questions about the presentation and all the all the tools that we have access to that we really didn't know. For those of you guys that aren't thinking about it, I'm really excited about that naked home AI. I can already think of this little property that I'm going to be listing. It's a little one bedroom, 1 bath. I think it lost 5,000 square feet in Turlock. I talked to a few, but it's going to be like 250,000. Then what can they build on that? Somebody could build on that, maybe a duplex, a triplex, or something like that. So that's going to be my next email and a conversation with the seller. Say, hey, let's order this. Let's start marketing it this way because maybe not the 1 bedroom, but then there's a development opportunity and growth for people to purchase it. So start thinking of that. Use everything that we get here, everything that we have. Yeah, definitely for transaction when we have a transaction, but how can we generate a transaction from it? That's more of what we got to start looking at, right? Because we are getting out of the summer kind of a cool time that's coming to an end pretty soon. Kids are going back to school, so now's the time to ramp back up, start making those calls and connections, and talk about this. This is exciting stuff, guys. So I am going to call it. If nobody has any questions, I don't see anybody else. Thank you everybody for showing up. Look forward to seeing you guys in person or in the next one.